Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha with Ice Cream Fitness here. And it's time for part 2 of the Monday Q&A. But hold on, let me give you guys a bicep shot first. First question. Would somebody still lose weight on a deficit without consistent macro ratios? Yes, absolutely, but I will put two caveats. One, they could change water weight and actually gain weight while losing tissue weight. For example, if they did very low carbs for a week and then started adding a lot of carbs in, they would regain body weight the following week, but it would be glycogen and water, and if they were in a caloric deficit still, they would still be losing body fat and possibly muscle. So they would be losing tissue weight, but gaining body weight, just due to water retention. But outside of that, yes, but keep in mind your macros will determine oftentimes your hormone balance and the amount of muscle mass that you keep. So if you aren't paying attention to macros, yes, you will lose weight, absolutely, when in a caloric deficit, but it's not always going to be an ideal weight loss for you. So just keep that in perspective. All right, next question. Are your starting numbers for the big list or your physique before lifting reflective of your genetics? This is really complicated. I'm going to try to sum this up very quickly. When you get into the topic of this, you have to get into the topic of epigenetics, as far as genes that everyone may have, or all of our species may have, and some people are born with those genes expressed already, or they are turned on earlier in life, whereas other people have to do things later in life to stimulate turning on those genes, and that very much can include genes related to muscle growth and strength gains and physique. And the difference is that some people start with some of those genes already on, so they're going to have a much easier time early on gaining muscle initially, or just looking better in terms of their physique, or even gaining strength, or they may start with more. But the other thing to look at is not just the gene expression involved, but also lifestyles, because a lot of people are more active than others on top of that. So you could take two identical twins with the same genes activated at birth and being expressed, who have a different lifestyle. One is very sedentary, the other is very active, plays a lot of sports, even does some sort of physical labor or manual labor, and they eat better. They might have a leaner, more muscular, stronger physique than the other twin, even with the same genetics, just due to lifestyle, because you have to remember your total lifestyle encompasses your results, not just your training at the gym. And the things you do outside of the gym, even before you start lifting, will still affect your strength and your muscle mass. All right, last question. What's your take on the argument that high protein diets acidify your blood? Well, I personally like to eat a lot of protein specifically for this purpose, because I like to use it as a defense mechanism, particularly against someone who has a bladed weapon. Because if I have really acidic blood and someone cuts me with a knife, one, I can disarm my opponent when the acid dissolves the blade, and two, I can use the arterial spray to spray it in their eyes and blind them with the acid, so then they're helpless and I can pounce upon my prey and eat them. But in all seriousness, and trolling and joking aside, there is literally almost nothing you can do with your diet to change the pH balance of your blood. And if you could, then trust me, you're not going to be alive very long. And by very long, I don't mean you're going to die in a year. You're going to die real shortly. So this whole idea is really silly, and I'm going to address that more in the next one, I think. But that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.